Welcome to KashFlow. In this video, I'm going to give you a 10-minute tutorial of some of the functionality we have within our software. When we log into KashFlow, we will see on this front page, this is called our dashboard, and in here we can see our financial overview, so we can see our bank balances, how much money that's owed to us and how much we owe, and also any overdue invoices and purchases we have within the business. We can see any recent changes and additions that KashFlow has made to the software, and we can see here we have our profit and loss, and I have a graph on my current account here. If you manage and track quotes within your business, you can see here we have a quote summary, and I have 2 draft quotes in the system, and I can see the total of those here. Depending on the important information you want to display on the dashboard, you can move these boxes around, so you can change the display depending on how you want to view that. Next module we're going to go to on the left hand side is our customer module. If we click onto customers, we can now manage all of our customers within our business. To add a new customer, all we do is hit the create button at the top of the page. Once we've created a new customer, we just need to type a name in here. It's going to create a customer code for us, and we can select from this drop down box where that customer has come from. So this can be bespoke within your business, and that will be able to track where all your customers come from and also the revenue you may have generated from any marketing activities. I'm just going to put in here client event. Once I've hit create a customer, that customer has now been created in the system. I can then continue to put their address details in here, their contact information as well. And also, if we go to the Options tab on a customer record, I can put in the payment terms and conditions for this particular client. If you track CIS within your business, if I click on the CIS and Other Information tab, I now have the ability to track the CIS deduction against invoices, and I can put in the relevant information in here. Once I've filled out that information, I just hit the Update button, and that customer record has now been created. And when we go to the customer list, I can see my 3 customers listed here. Next module on the left hand side is if we go to quotes. So if you manage quotes within your business, the system can do this for you. So if you click on the quotes module on the left hand side, we can see we've got the 2 that were on my dashboard earlier, but to create a new quote, I can hit create at the top of the page. It will bring through a quote number. Automatically it's gone to 202. I can put in a reference in here. We can put the date of the quote. I can choose the category, so this is just going to be a negotiation, and then I can just add a line item to this. We can see mine's pre-filled with general work, and I charge £500 a day. I can overwrite that, however, so if I just type in a new figure, and also I can change the quantity, so I did 2 days, and we can change the description in there as well. So the quotes can be fully bespoke for your business. You can add multiple lines to the quotes as well. I have a services line in here, and I can select on additional products within my business. So I can select bathroom fitting in here, and I'll charge £400 for that. Once I'm happy with the quote, I can just hit save on the top right hand side of the screen. All of the quotes will save within the quotes module, so we can see that quote is saved now, so I can keep track of all of that. And also, if you go to the customer screen on the left hand side, and we go to customer number 1, if we go to invoices and stats, we can see those quotes now listed against the customer record. I can quickly turn a quote into an invoice just by hitting one button. Alternatively, we do have an invoices module on the left hand side. So if I want to manage invoices, we just click on invoices, create an invoice, and once we've created an invoice, I can choose the customer who it's for, or I could add a new customer. And then we can just add line items to this, and we can see it looks very similar to a quote. Again, I'm just going to go and choose my services in here, and I'm just going to put a boiler change, and then I'm just going to click services again, and we're just going to do a service as well. And we can see all of that information has pre-filled, and if I hit save on the top right hand side, I now have an unpaid invoice within the software for £600. Once the invoices and quotes have been created, you'll see on the screen you have the option to print them off as a PDF or email them. If I hit the email button, it now brings up the email editor within KashFlow, and if I just click on the invoice there, this is what my invoice is going to look like, and this is what my customers are going to receive from me. And there's my invoice template. and all the information is on there, and your customers will just receive that via an email. To record a payment against an invoice, we can just click into the invoice and add a payment. If you're looking to take card payments within your business, we do have the option for a card payment button here, and then a customer could phone you and you could just type in the card details over the phone and take a direct credit or debit card payment. If we now go into our invoices module on the left hand side, we can see that invoice has been created. We can see when the due date is, which is 28 days, and we can see the status is unpaid. And when you continue to create these within your business, you'll be able to track all of the invoices and who owes you money. If you go back to the customer module now, we'll now see that customer number 1 has an outstanding balance of £600. If we go down to the suppliers module on the left hand side, we can now manage our suppliers. So to add a new supplier, we just replicate what we did to create a new customer, and once that supplier record is now in the system, we can go and generate purchases against that supplier. So if it purchases on the left hand side, we can create a new purchase. We choose a supplier from the drop down list, choose the date of the transaction, and again we just add line item. I'm going to buy some materials, and I can just free type into here what I'm buying, and I'm just going to put £500 in there, and then just hit save on the top right hand side. We can now have the option to add a payment, so we can record a payment and we can print that or email it across to our supplier. Once that's been recorded, just like your invoices, all your purchases are recorded under the purchases module, and if I go to suppliers, I can see my supplier has an outstanding balance of £600. That's how easy it is to manage customers' quotes, your invoices, suppliers and purchases within KashFlow. Next, if we go to the bank module on the left hand side, we can see how easy it is to manage our bank accounts. We can see that I've got my current account and my business account already in the system. To add a new bank account, you just hit add new account in the top right hand side, and in here I'm just going to call this my petty cash account, and then I can just save that in the right hand side, and that bank account has now been added to my list. If you want to add transactions manually, all we do is hit the View and Add button within the bank screen. Once in here, all I need to do is choose the date of the transaction, and then all we need to do is just choose the code that we want to post that to. So I'm going to choose hotels in here. Comment. All we do is type what that transaction is and the value of that transaction. We choose the VAT that needs to be assigned against that, and then once you hit the plus transaction on the right hand side, that transaction will now record within KashFlow. An alternative way to manage your bank within KashFlow is to link it to your online bank. Once you've linked it to your online bank, you will now see you'll have an import button next to the bank account. If I click on the import button and go and choose a date range of transactions I want to import, I'm just going to go from the start of April to the end of April, load transactions through, and this is going to go straight through to my bank account and bring through the bank statement on the left hand side. We can see that it's already matched a number of transactions on the right hand side, so we can see that my rent has gone out and it's matched it to rent. We can see I've had interest coming in and it's gone to interest received, and you can set up custom rules within your business to automatically post everything on your bank statement to the correct place within the bookkeeping system, which will improve accuracy, and also it will speed up the time that it takes to do the bookkeeping within your business. If there's a transaction that isn't matched, you can just hit on the match button and we can see that it was a payment coming in for 2050. I don't have the invoice there yet, so I can actually go and create, and then I can create a brand new invoice, and I can choose exactly where that needs to be posted to, and then hit create, and that's going to create a new invoice for me, and then I can import that, and now that's imported those 7 transactions directly into my bank account. So if I now go to April 2014 and hit go, we're now going to see the transactions I've just imported. And when you want to make changes and amendments within the system, you can just click on a transaction and I can edit exactly where things need to be posted to, and I can change any other details on there, hit update, and that transaction is going to change. So the software is very easy to make those amendments. We can also manage your VAT. So on the left hand side of the screen, if you go into Reports and General Reports, if I just scroll down here to VAT Management, I have the option to create my first VAT report, and once I've done this, it's going to bring through all my VAT calculations for the current period you're in. I can see my VAT liability and I can submit that directly to HMRC. So once you've managed all of your business, if we go back to the dashboard now, we'll be able to see the transactions that we've added into the software today. So we'll be able to see the balances within my bank accounts. We'll be able to see the outstanding invoices and also the VAT liability. So we can see my current account, my business account balance, how much is owed to me and how much I owe, and how much is available within the business. And I can see here my VAT liability. And that's a quick tour around KashFlow software.